بعد. جي. So المقامة الثانية عشرة الدمشقية. 12th مقامة دمشق والا. Dimashq, Damascus, the capital city of Syria. This session, Majlis, happened there. Hadith ibn Hammam, the narrator, says that he developed the desire to travel from Iraq to Ghouta, which is near Damascus. So he traveled there, he enjoyed his time, and Ghouta is a beautiful city with lots of gardens and flowers and fruits and greenery. So he had a nice time there. But then when they wanted to return, they were looking for some rehbar, a guide. And in those days, they could not travel without any guide because it's risky. Long journeys, there are robbers, bandits, highway robbers, and there are risks, wild beasts, reptiles, valleys of snakes. So you have to navigate through all that and protect yourself. So they used to have people who know the route properly. So they would travel with them. So they were looking for some guide, but they couldn't find one. All the guides were absent and they had all left. So they tried their best, they couldn't find one, and then they finally saw this old man, and he was like one of the rahibs and monks, and he was holding on to some tasbih and reading tasbih. So they when he saw that these people are in this dilemma, he kept quiet, listening to them, watching them, and then he said that I am a guide, I can take you on this route. And they said, are you sure? And he said, yes, I know a special dua which I was taught in dream, and ever since I have learned this dua, I go on the road and I am protected and I know these routes properly, and with this dua, inshallah, we will be protected. And he mentioned a long dua of maybe 4 or 5 pages. And then they believed him, they traveled with him. When they got to their destination, it turned out that he took their money, and he disappeared. So Harith ibn Hammam went looking for him, and he found him sitting inside a pub, drinking wine. So you claim to be a big Sufi with the tasbih in your hand, and what are you doing here? And he said, well, sometimes this, sometimes that. This is, then he realized that, oh, this is Abu Zayd Saruji. So ye Abu Zayd Saruji ke karname hai. So this previous maqama was about, akhirat, mawat, mayyat, janazah. Now this one is a little bit of the other type. That nasha, sharab, and but the adab, literacy in there is amazing. The kalimat of protection which he mentions are full of Arabic literacy. المقامة الثانية عشرة الدمشقية. حكى الحارث بن همام قال شخصت من العراق إلى الغوطة وأنا ذو جرد مربوطة وجدة مغبوطة يلهيني خلو الذرع ويزدهيني حفول الضرع فلما بلغتها بعد شق النفس وإنضاء العنس ألفيتها كما تصفها الألسن وفيها ما تشتهيه الأنفس وتلذ الأعين فشكرت يد النوى وجريت طلقا مع الهوى وطفقت وفض فيها خطوم الشهوات وأجتني قطوف اللذات إلى أن شرع سفر في الإعراق وقد أشفقت من الإغراق فعادني عيد من تذكار الوطن والحنين إلى العطن فقوضت قيام الخيبة وأسرجت جواد الأوبة ولما تأهبت الرفاق واستتب الاتفاق ألحنا من المسير دون استصحاب الخفير فردناه من كل قبيلة وأعملنا في تحصيله ألف حيلة فأعوز وجدانه في الأحياء حتى خلنا أنه ليس من الأحياء فحارت لعوزه عزوم السيارة وانتدوا بباب جيرون للاستشارة. Harith ibn Hammam relates, I traveled from Iraq to Ghouta, and in those days I had um, a horse which was uh, tied and fed at home, and I was also of wealth which was envied. Yulhini khulu zara, freedom of my chest was calling me to diversion and amusements and entertainments, and fullness of the others was leading me to pride. When I reached there after putting my nafs, myself, through mushaqqat and hardship, and after making my camel lean and weak and frail, I found the city of Ghuta exactly as people's tongues described. In it was whatever the nafs desires and the eyes delight in. So I thanked the hand of separation from Iraq, and I ran freely with my desire and pleasures. And I began to break in it the seals of shahwats and desires, and pick the fruits of delights, until some travelers were getting ready to return to Iraq, and I was also fearful from drowning. So, a reminder from the reminders of the Watan and homeland returned to me, and longing towards my house returned to me. So, I struck off the tents of ghaybubat and absence, and I saddled the horse of return. फिर से पढ़ो शुरू से. شخصت من العراق إلى الغوطة. شخص يشخص شخوصا. باب فتح يفتح से कि माना to travel, सफर करना, to journey. من العراق, Iraq, name of country today. In those days, it was name of those bilad. إلى الغوطة. غوطة is beautiful city on the outskirts of Dimashq, and one of the beautiful cities, extremely pleasant with lots of greenery and splendor, and it's like a holiday resort. And Syria is a beautiful land. Sham. وأنا ذو جرد مربوطة. Whilst I was having a horse which is tied at home, not sent to the fields for grazing. Jurd is Jama of Ajrad, and Ajrad means a horse which has little bit of hair, which is not full of hair, meaning it is young, strong, energetic, and able to be rode on. And Marbuta, Rabata Yarbitu Rabtan means bandana, to tie, meaning it is tied at home and fed uh, at home with beautiful, proper fodder. So I was wealthy, so I had a very nice, beautiful steed, horse. وَجِدَةٍ مَغْبُوطَةٍ. وَجَدَ يَجِدُ جِدَةً means to be wealthy. And وَجَدَ يَجِدُ وِجْدَانًا means to find. And وَجَدَ يَجِدُ وَجْدًا means to feel and to have some, feelings and or of some type, whether of sorrow or regret or happiness. So I was of jidatin maghbuta, daulat and ghina, upon which people envy. Ghabita yaghbatu ghibtatan ke mana rush karna, to for which people envy. Yulhini khuluwu zara. Lahu means amusement, and alha means to amuse, to distract, to entertain. Khulu khala yakhlu khuluwan, khali hona. Zar'un ke mana sina, chest. وضاق بهم زرعا وقال هذا يوم عصيب. तो मेरा सीना यानी मेरा दिल फारिग और खाली था. My heart was free and empty of any worries. Like a student who does not have any worries of bills and food and this and that and wife and kids. They say student life is the best life. Nagame dusdi nagame bala. No gham. So I had no gham, no fikr. So having an empty heart, empty and free of worries, was distracting me. And ويزدهيني حفول الذرع. ازدها يزدهي ازدهاء के माना तकब्बुर पर उभारना. असल में जुही الرجل فهو मजहूवन के माना तकब्बर. तो इज़दहा के माना भी to feel proud. حفول حفل يحفل حفلا حفولا means भरा हुआ होना, to be full. And ضرع means ton, udders of the goat or the camel or the sheep or the cow, when they are filled with milk. So the udders being full was urging me to be proud and boasty and haughty. فلما بلغتها, when I reached the city of Ghuta, بعد شق النفس, شق يشق شقا إلا بشق الأنفس. Quran Sharif में है. The mashaqqat of my nafs. Nafs means self and nafas means breath. तो यहाँ नफस बिमाना ब्रीदिंग नहीं है, बल्कि ये नफ्स बिमाना जात के है. वो इंदा इल अंस, अंदा युंदी इंदान के माना दुबला कर देना, to make weak and frail and pale. And ans के माना beautiful camels, strong camels. So but after making my camel weak and frail, العنس الناقة القوية جمع إناس and عنوس. ألفيتها ألفا يلفي, to find. I found the city of Ghuta كما تصفها الألسن, as people's tongues describe it. I wasn't disappointed. It was really as beautiful as people had mentioned it. And in it was everything that the nafs desires and the eyes take delight in. This is part of Qurani ayat regarding Jannat. وَفِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِيهِ الْأَنفُسُ وَتَلَذُّ الْأَعْيُنُ وَأَنْتُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. وَتَلَذُّ الْأَعْيُنُ لَذَّ لَذَّةً كمعنى to feel delight. أعين, آنख. If something is beautiful, then you like looking at it. But if not, then you don't even want to pay any attention to it. فَشَكَرْتُ يَدَ النَّوَى. So I did shukr of the hand of separation and distance. Yad ke mana hand, and nawa ke mana duri. So duri and bu'd and firaq and traveling from Iraq to Ghuta and undertaking that strenuous journey, I did shukr of that. That shukr Allah ka I came here to spend some time and enjoy and have a holiday. Sometimes you go, like for example, my friends gone to Philippines, uh, वो क्या the city का नाम उसने लिया, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. जाते holiday के लिए, we will go Tunisia, Barbados, right, for holidays. So when you go there, you spend a week or 2 3 weeks. It's too much. 2 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days is enough. So when you go there, you feel really relaxed and you feel good. घर में बहुत टेंशन वेंशन था, यहाँ आए जरा बीच पे गए, जरा रिलैक्स किया, टेंशन दूर हो गया. अलबत्ता ऐसी जगह जाने का जहाँ आंखें खराब ना हो, न्यूडिटी ना हो, और जहाँ पर कुछ हया शर्म इस्मत हो, और या फिर ऐसा हाउस रखने का जिसमें खुद स्विमिंग पूल हो और उसमें दूसरों के साथ मिक्सचर ना हो, तो उसमें जरा फायदा रहता है. तो मैंने शुक्र किया जुदाईगी के हाथ का, फिराक के हाथ का. वो जरईतु तलकन मअल हवा. जरा यजरी जरियन मीन्स टू रन. आई रन. तलकन मीन्स मुतलक. अतलक युतलिक इतलाकन के माना ढीला छोड़ देना, लूज. I ran loose with my desires, meaning I did whatever my nafs desired. And tafiq yatfaqu from af'ali muqaraba, I began afuddu fadd yafuddu faddan ke maana todna. Khutum al-shahawat, khutum plural of khatmun, and khatmun means muhar, seal. So I began to break in it the seals of desires. وأجتني قطوف اللذات, and ijtana yajtani to pick fruits, and qutuf plural of qitfun. Qitfu samar is the name of a kitab. I think it's about nahu. So qatafa said to pick ripe fruit. So qitfun jama qutufun. Lazzat plural of lazzatun. I began to pick the fruits of delights. Ila anshara. And I stayed there for quite a few many days until um, some musafir began to go towards Iraq. Shara'a, to begin. Safrun, plural of musafir or safir. And a'raqa yu'riqu Iraqan, to travel towards Iraq. وقد أشفقت من الإغراق, and I was fearful of drowning. أشفق يشفق إشفاقا كمعنى درنا. So I was scared of إغراق, drowning. أغرق يغرق إغراقا, to drown, being drowned. What is the meaning of being drowned over here? Poverty. Because when you travel and you run out of money, so you are like a drowning person. You don't know where to go to. You run out of money. Your provisions have gone. In the previous eras, today we have mobiles and texts and WhatsApp. But if you go back 30, 40 years, when these things were not there, no emails, no things, what they used to do was telegram. They would send telegram. Telegram would be very expensive. So post would get there in 1 week, but telegram would get there instantly. So one young man went on holiday, and he ran out of funds. So he sent a telegram to his father asking him for some money. So he wrote, "Dear Dad, no man, no fun, your son." इतना बिल्कुल शॉर्ट टेलीग्राम, because it costs less. Dear Dad, no man, no fun, your son. अब उसका बाप भी कंजूस था, तो उसने जवाब लिखा, "Dear son, how sad, poor lad, your dad." तो ये how sad, poor lad, your dad. पैसा वैसा नहीं भेजा उसने. You should have spent your money wisely. Why do you spend it lavishly? अब मुझे क्या, I'm not going to send any money, come back home. तो وقد أشفقت من الإغراق, I was scared of drowning. فعادني عيد. عاد يعود عودا means to return. عيد, Eid is normally used. Salmi Eid is from Ivudun, because عاد يعود, there is waw in there. So from there, Ivdun is there, but because of the kasra, waw was changed to ya, and Ivdun became Eidun. So فعادني عيد, a returner returned to me. Min tizkaril watan, from the reminder of watan. And Eid is called Eid because it returns twice a year. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So Eid literally means something that returns. So a returner returned to me with regards to Tizkarul Watan. Zakara yazkuru zikran, to remember Tizkar, remembrance. Wal hanini ila al-atan, and love for the atan, uh, homeland. Al hanin means longing, shawq, the shawq of atan. Asal mein atan jama atan, atanul ibil is the name of is used for the place where the camel uh, resort and return to in the evening. Their barn is called atan. So wal hanini ila atan, the shock of my homeland. فقوضت خيام الغيبة. So قوض के माना उखाड़ना. خيام plural of خيمة, tent. غيبة, absence. So I struck off, uprooted the khayma and the tents of absence. وأسرجت جواد العوبة, and I put saddle. Asraja is from Sarjun. Sarjun means zeen, saddle. So I put the zeen on Jawad, the beautiful steed and fast running horse of Al Auba, of return. Aba Yaubu Oban, Inna ilayna iyabahum, summa inna alayna hisabahum. Iyab and Auba means return. So I put the saddle on the beautiful steed and horse of return. وَلَمَّا تَأَهَّبَتِ الرِّفَاقِ, and when the traveling companions uh, prepared themselves and were ready, وَاسْتَتَبَّ الْإِتِّفَاقِ, and ittifaq was completed, agreement was completed. تَأَهَّبَ يَتَأَهَّبُ تَأَهُّبًا means تَيَّار ho jana, to get ready, prepared. Rifaq, plural of rafiq. Rafiq means companion. Traveling companions were ready. استتب يستتب استتبابا from تب يتب تماما, which means تم يتم تماما. To استتب يعني استتم. الاتفاق, agreement. ألحنا من المصير دون استصحاب الخفير. We were fearful of traveling without taking with us a guide and guard. ألحنا, ألاح يليح إلاحة, بمعنى خفنا, خشينا, we were scared. ألاح من الشيء يعني خاف منه. So we were fearful of مسير يعني سفر. دون استصحاب الخفير, استصحب साथ ले जाना. خفير, خفير يخفر خفرا خفارة, كمعنى to guide and guard someone. خفير means المجير, who travels with a caravan and takes care of them, looks after them, does their chowkidari and guarding and night duty, and takes them with his proper rehbari and guidance, is called khafir. And as I mentioned, in those days they could not travel without him. فرودناه, راد يرود كمعنى التلاش करना, وراودته التي هو في بيتها. So we searched for him. من كل قبيلة, from every قبيلة, tribe. وأعملنا في تحصيله ألف حيلة, and we used 1,000 strategies to gain him. أعمل يعمل كاملانا, to use, make use of something. أن حصل يحصل تحصيلا, حاصل कराना. الفحيلة, حيلة بمعنى تركيب, strategy, جماحية. فأعوز وجدانه في الأحياء, but finding him in the tribes became very difficult. حتى خلنا أنه ليس من الأحياء, to the extent that we thought that he is not from the living. أعوز, عويز يعوز عوزا, عويز الشيء كمعنى uh, it was very rare, very difficult to find. أعوز, it was difficult. وجدان, to find him. في الأحياء, أحياء comes twice over here. First, ahya is plural of hayyun bima'na qabila. A qabila is called hayyun لأن بعضهم يحيا ببعض, because some get life with others, meaning support from others. That's why a qabila or a tribe in Arabic is called hayyun. Like hayyun min ahya al-Arab, qabila from the qabail of Arab. And second, ahya is plural of hayyun, which is the opposite of mayyit. So hayyun there means living. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. Hatta khilna khale yakhalu khiyalan ke mana khayal karna. We thought that he's not from the living people. He's dead. There's no guards and guides left. So to find him among the tribes became very difficult, to the extent that we thought that he's no longer from the living people. All the guides have died. فحارت لعوزه عزوم السيارة وانتدوا بباب جيرون للاستشارة. So, due to the difficulty of finding a guard, the resolves of the travelers became bewildered. وانتدوا بباب جيرون للاستشارة. They assembled at the gate of Jayrun to make mashwara. حار يحار حيرة كمعنى حيران हो जाना, to be bewildered. لعوزه عويز يعوز عوزا كمعنى مشكل होना. So because of its mushkili and hardship, عزوم السيارة عزم جمع عزوم pukhta irada. سيارة وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم. Travelers, caravan. The resolve and the firm intentions of the caravan became bewildered. And intadaw, intada yantadi intida, nada yandu nadwan, kimana, to gather. They gathered at Babi Jayrun, the gate of Jayrun, lil istishara, for seeking mashwara from one another. चलो बस करो. चलो فما زالوا بين عقل وحل والشزر والسحل إلى أن نفد التناجي وقنط الراجي. They continued between tying and untying and plaiting and twinning until their conversations were exhausted and the hopeful despaired. Mazalu, mazala is from af'ali muqaraba, to not cease to do something, continue to do something. بين عقد وحل عقد يعقد عقدا كمعنى to tie a knot, and حل يحل كمعنى to open a knot. So they continuously remain between tying and untying. والشزر وسحل, and between plaiting and twinning. شزر يشزر شزرا بمعنى bunna, to plait. They used to make strong ropes by the plaiting. And sahlin means to twin, to not make the rope and leave the cotton wool as it is. So it means that they went up and down, back and forth. Sometimes they make mashwara that we should travel without a guard. And then they would say, no, 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 we could get stranded somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the desert and we could die. So sometimes they are intending firmly to go, and then suddenly they are, changing their minds. They continue to stay in this state of tying and untying, plaiting and twining, until nafidat tanaji, ma indakum yanfadu, wa ma indallahi ba. Tanaji, tanaja ya tanaja, tanajiyan ki mana apas mein sargushi karna, to talk secretly among yourselves. And qanita yaqnatu qunutan, के माना मायूस हो जाना, despair. And Raji is from Raja Yarju, Raja'an, to hope. इसमें फाइल Raji, and the hopeful also became despaired. आगे वकान हिज़तहू बाद में पढ़ना शुरू से कर लो. Haris ibn Hammam narrates, I traveled from Iraq to Ghuta whilst I had a horse which was tied at home, and I had richness which was of envy, freedom of the heart was distracting me, and the feeling of the others was urging me to be proud. When I reached Ghuta, after tiring myself and after making weak and frail my camels, I found Ghuta as the tongues would describe it, and in it was what the nafs desires and the eyes feel delight. So I thanked the hand of separation and distance, and I ran freely with my desires, and I began to break in it the uh, seals of desires and pick the fruits of delight until some musafirs began to go towards Iraq, and I was also fearful of drowning. So, a reminder of the Watan and homeland returned to me, and some longing for the home. So I struck off the tents of absence, and I put a saddle on the steed of return. And when the companions were ready and a ittifaq agreement was complete, we feared from traveling without taking with us a guard. So we looked for him in every qabila, and we used for acquiring him 1,000 strategies. However, to find him among the Qaba'il became very difficult until we thought that he is not from among the living people. All gods have died. So, due to this difficulty, the resolves of the travelers was bewildered, and they sat at Wabi Jairun for making mashwara. Now, they remain continuously between tying and untying and plaiting and twining until the uh, conversations among themselves uh, finished and died down, and the hopeful despaired. बाद में पढ़ना ये वकान हिज़तहुम शख्स जाओ याद करके आना अच्छी तरह, कल कच्चा बच्चा नहीं होना चाहिए.